I'm going to talk about a different side of polling. I'm going to talk about polling after midnight. Because that's when school board meetings used to end frequently. Am I right? And for decades, as Principal Wu indicated, this city had a system of elected school boards. And polling every time she ran was overwhelmingly elected to be our school board member. And last I checked, polling set the record for the longest serving member of any community school board in the city of New York. For 7 of those years, Pauline served with my mom on the school board. Pauline was president, and my mother was vice president, then my mother was president, and Pauline was vice president, and they became very close friends and loved each other very dearly. And they called each other sister. And that's why Pauline is my aunt, and Betty and John and the rest of the family are my cousins. So often, I would go with our car and pick up my mom and Pauline after school board meetings, hence talking about polling after midnight. And on occasion, the meetings went quite late, even later than that. And on those occasions, I knew Pauline was making a big speech. But she always had something very important to say. And you would think that when Pauline and my mom came down to the car, they would be exhausted. I mean, Pauline spent a long day as director of Project Open Door, and that requires a tremendous amount of energy. And then the school board meetings took a tremendous amount of energy. And I was exhausted at the end of the day. But no, Pauline was totally energized. And the two of them in the car kept the school board meeting going, continuing to talk and plan and what would be best for the students and the schools and the teachers. So I think the I, in addition to inspire, because Pauline, as Principal Wu mentioned, did inspire our district to excel as a model of education, but I think the I also stands for indefatigable. I think Pauline just keeps going and going and going with endless energy. And on many occasions, Pauline and my mother would go and visit and inspect the schools of the district. I think Principal Wu used to call them the Popsy twins. And they were both about the same height, and looking at them, they came across, as they are, as demure, quiet, sweet ladies. Pauline used the expression, lovely lady. But when they got into the school, I think even the most seasoned principals snapped to attention. Lily Wu's laughing. But everything had to be just right, and everything had to be just right for the students, or else they would hear from Pauline and my mom, and they would let them know. And of course, they were always full of countless suggestions for making education and our schools better. You know, it's, well, both Pauline and my mother were very steeped in community politics. Pauline is a great politician, if you don't know. I'm still learning from her. She's a great and crafty politician. But when it came to the school board, and the schools, politics was left behind. And all that mattered was what was best for the students and for the schools. And it's no coincidence that Community School Board 2 had the deserved reputation as the best school board in the city of New York, and was known for its educational innovation with no trace whatsoever of scandal at a time when school board scandals were rife. And that's because Pauline and my mother, and Pauline over the years she served as president and member, truly cared for the students, truly cared for the schools. She inspired us all with her caring. And I think the L, in addition to the leadership Pauline provided, I think the L stands for love. And we all know that love takes many forms. And Pauline and my mother shared a great love for students, for young people, for the students of the city of New York, as Pauline has a great love for her seniors, who she continues to serve day in, day out. And I think that's what really makes Pauline so special and effective, her love for the people with whom she works and she serves. And so, Pauline, I know that Sophie joins me in congratulations and thanking you for being such a great and loving leader and colleague on the school board, and for being such a great and loving sister and friend. Like a true sister, you were always there in good times and in not so good times. And I thank you, Pauline, for being such a wonderful friend and aunt to me.